This is Martin, the Elite Strategist. Thank you for watching, and I wanted to share with you. So I was at an event this weekend, and I was one of the panelists, and we had multiple panels, and we were being interviewed. Real estate professionals actually doing it in the business, and we were being interviewed. And a young man got up and he said, he must have been in his early 20s. He got up and he asked, would you do anything differently? What advice would you give me? What would you do differently? And different panelists answered in different ways. And I'm going to ask you, what advice would you give? Let me fix this. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self? Right? What's the advice you would give your 20-year-old self? And what I told this young man was, there's one thing I would change. There's one thing I would change. I wouldn't change anything that I've been through, but I would change one thing. And that is, I would have gotten really clear on who I am and what I want in life really early. Clarity, okay? Let's talk about this. Clarity is power. So one thing that I would tell my younger self is, this thing is down. Maybe you could put it up a little bit right there, I think. Sorry about that. I gotta be like this. You could, yeah, right there. So maybe you can hold it up a little bit, Eric. There you go. Yep, right there is good. Clarity is power, right? So clarity is power. So what I would tell my younger self is, so here's the thing. When you read a bunch of books and you hear things like, your network is your net worth. The question is, how do you get into the higher net worth, right? How do you get in those groups, right? So the saying goes, your top 5 people you hang out with, you take their income, you average it out, that's your income. But if I tell a 20-year-old person that, or maybe some of you that might be watching this video, you're thinking, well, how do I get around those people? How do I get around the achievers? And here's the one thing I will tell you. I read that many, many years ago, The Magic of Thinking Big. I shared that book. I love that book because that book took me from a 24-year-old kid making $48,000 a year to making $104,000 a year after practicing the principles I learned there. But here's the one thing I was missing is, I was missing that circle. And what I would tell my younger self is, get involved. Go to places where these people hang out in. And the internet is going in and out of this thing. But go to places where these people hang out in. And where are these people hanging out? Where are the achievers hanging out in? And I'll tell you right now, my career really took off when I started going to seminars and I started going to workshops and I started really, 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 really investing in myself. That's when my career took off. Listen to me. If you don't have wealthy people in your circle, I'm going to tell you where the wealthy people are, where the achievers are. And we're not all necessarily wealthy that go here, but put yourself in seminars, put yourself in workshops. Find someone, find yourself a mentor, find yourself a coach that's doing better than you. If you don't have them in your circle immediately, go to these places. This is where you're going to find them, right? That's where we go. I was recently, this thing is in and out, the internet. I was recently having a conversation with a company, a national real estate education company, and they wanted me to come out and be a keynote. This thing is, the internet is in and out. It's all good. It's good there. There's this real estate education company that wants me to go out and be a keynote for them. And she asked me, I was talking to the lady, and then she was saying, well, you know, Martin, we want you to come out. We want you to come out and be the speaker for our trainees or whatever and do some training. And we got in the conversation, and she was telling me that people she talks to thousands of people. They do large marketing. And she's like, people don't like seminars. And I was in shock. I got to tell you, I was in shock. I was in awe because, you see, I'll spend a couple $1,000s to fly across the country to LA, to the other side of the country, for the internet is crappy because on the other Wi-Fi I didn't put on this one. To fly to the other side of the country for 5 days, pay for hotel, pay for airfare, pay for the cost, pay for food, the cost of the ticket, to be in the environment of achievers, to learn. So when she said this to me, I was in shock. I was like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Because here's the one thing that I could tell you is that my career took off, and I said this earlier, my career took off when I started investing in myself, when I started going to events like that, when I started going to seminars, workshops. Listen, you guys, those of you that follow me, you see that some of the content I give you. There's nothing new under the sun. A lot of this stuff I've read, I've studied, I've learned at seminars. That's in full integrity, transparent. This stuff is not all mine, and a lot of it is experience. But if you want to take your career to the next level, and you want to surround yourself with the top 5, then you got to get out of the 5 that you're in, and you got to put yourself in an uncomfortable place where these people are. And I'm telling you, that's where these people are. Again, this is Martin, the Elite Strategist. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found value, and we'll see you soon.